Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachare. Yamunatira Vanachare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachare. Yamunatira Vanachare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtodasha Shimadapai Charana Ravina Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtodasha Tridandi Goswami Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Shri Chiva Raghunatha Pada Dasa Raghunatha Gopala Pada Shat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Srimad Upadeshamrita Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashna Putale Srimati. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashna Putale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadyate Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadandikam. Wir lesen heute aus dem Nektar der Unterweisung in Deutsch. Braucht jemand Übersetzung? You speak German or you speak English? Huh? English. You can translate? A little bit, huh? Better English. Then we speak in English. Aber Kishore, verstehen? Möchtest du? Okay. Dann machen wir. We speak in English and there will be translation for Kishore. Today we speak on the very final and last verse of the Sri Upadeshamrita. So you went through the whole book. And this is actually a pretty fascinating part of this book. So I chant the Sanskrit. Krishnas yochai pranaya vasati prayashipyopi ratha kundam chasya munipir apitas tadrik eva vyatayi yat preshtairapi alam asulapam kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premedam sakrit apisara snatur avishkaroti. Please repeat. Krishnasya of Lord Shri Krishna. Ujjaihi, very highly. Pranaya, vasatihi, object of love. Preyasipyaha, out of the many lovable gopis. Api, certainly. Radha, Srimati Radharani. Kundam, lake. Cha, also. Asyaha, of her. Munipihi, by great sages. Apitaha, in all respects. Tadrik eva, similarly. Vyatahi is described. Yat, which. Preshtaihi, by the most advanced devotees. Api, even. Alam, enough. Asulabham, difficult to obtain. Kim, what? Punaha, again. Bhakti bhajam, for persons engaged in devotional service. Tat, that. Prema, love of Godhead. Idam, this. Sakrit, once. Api, even. Saraha, lake. Snatuhu, of one who has bathed. Avishkaroti, arouses. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Of the many objects of favored delight and of all the lovable damsels of Vrajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. And in every respect, her divine kunda is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radha Kunda is very rarely attained, even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Purport. Why is Radha Kunda so exalted? The lake is so exalted because it belongs to Srimati Radharani, who is the most beloved object of Sri Krishna. Among all the gopis, she is the most beloved. Similarly, her lake, Sri Radhakunda, is also described by great sages as the lake that is as dear to Krishna as Radha herself. Indeed, Krishna's love for Radhakunda and for Srimati Radharani is the same in all respects. Radhakunda is very rarely attained, even by great personalities fully engaged in devotional service. What to speak of ordinary devotees who are only engaged in the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti. It is stated that a devotee will at once develop pure love of Krishna in the wake of the gopis if he once takes a bath in Radhakunda. Srila Rupa Goswami recommends that even if one cannot live permanently on the banks of Radhakunda, he should at least take a bath in the lake as many times as possible. This is a most important item in the execution of devotional service. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in this connection that Sri Radhakunda is the most select place for those interested in advancing their devotional service in the wake of the lady friends, Sakhis, and confidential serving maids, Manjaris, of Srimati Radharani. Living entities who are eager to return home to the transcendental kingdom of God, Goloka Vrindavan, by means of attaining their spiritual bodies, Siddhadeha, should live at Radhakunda, take shelter of the confidential serving maids of Sri Radha, and under their direction engage constantly in her service. This is the most exalted method for those engaged in devotional service, under the protection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this connection, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that even great sages and great devotees like Narada and Sanaka do not get an opportunity to come to Radhakunda to take their baths. What then to speak of ordinary devotees? If by great fortune one gets an opportunity to come to Radhakunda and bath even once, he can develop his transcendental love for Krishna exactly as the gopis did. It is also recommended that one should live on the banks of Radhakunda and should be absorbed in the loving service of the Lord. One should bath there regularly and give up all material conceptions, taking shelter of Sri Radha and her assistant gopis. If one is thus constantly engaged during his lifetime, after giving up the body, he will return back to Godhead to serve Sri Radha in the same way as he contemplated during his life on the banks of Radha Kunda. The conclusion is that to live on the banks of Radha Kunda and to bath there daily constitutes the highest perfection of devotional service. It is a difficult position to attain, even for great sages and devotees like Narada. Thus, there is no limit to the glory of Sri Radha Kunda. By serving Radha Kunda, one can get an opportunity to become an assistant of Srimati Radharani under the eternal guidance of the gopis. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananshana Shalakaya Chakrurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadandikan. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishnas yojjai pranaya vasatihi prayasi pyopi radha kundam chasya munipir apitas tadrik eva vyatyahi yat preshtairapialam asulapam kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premedam sakrit api sarahas natur avishkaroti. Of the many objects of favored delight and of all the lovable damsels of Vrajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. And in every respect, her divine Kunda is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radha Kunda is very rarely attained, even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. So, what we hear here is that after one has taken birth in Radhakunda, which is anyway difficult to attain, even for great sages, one can get an opportunity to become an assistant of Srimati Radharani under the eternal guidance of the gopis, which means then the service really begins. And it reminds me of a story of a very famous devotee of this movement. And he is very famous for being a big Sankirtan devotee. He distributed so many books daily that for many years, actually for the last centuries, he was holding the record of books being distributed on one day. It was 900 books on one day distributed. That was the world record for many, many years now. And the story is quite interesting how this career began. He went on a pilgrimage to India, and he went to Vrindavan, and he went to the Govardhan Hill, and he even went to Radhakund. So he visited this holy place, and we hear here, if one takes one's bath, then after that he may get the opportunity to become an assistant of Srimati Radharani under the eternal guidance of the gopis. So what happened then? He came back to the West and started book distribution. And he became a Maharati, distributed many, many books, years after years, and regularly. So it is Harinamananda Prabhu, of course very well known. And so it shows us what is the mood in our disciplic succession. The mood is not by hearing these very high topics and confidential topics to think, oh, we can easily attain it by flying to India and going there to this holy, most of all holy lakes, Radhakunda, and even we may decide by ourselves to stay there because it is stated here, one should stay at Radhakunda, live there, and daily take a bath. This is such a high position, even great sages like Narada Muni and Sanaka rarely achieve that. It's hard to achieve. So how could we think we could easily achieve it by booking a flight and taking a taxi and go there and stay there? No, it's not like that. Rather, despite this philosophical fact, it happens quite often. We hear quite often from devotees doing exactly that. And once a really wonderful spiritual master of this movement had one disciple of his who exactly did that. He fell into this trap, and he went by his own decision to India at Radhakunda, and he even got reinitiated by another spiritual master, devotee there, whatever. And the reaction of this spiritual master in ISKCON to his disciple was, he still needs some time of material life. So that means it is not really on the platform, on the spiritual platform, which is described here to us when we go to Radhakunda in that way and decide to stay there in that way. And also bathing in Radhakunda. What does bathing in Radhakunda mean? Actually, as explained by another sannyasi and spiritual master of our movement about this topic, to bath in Radhakunda is possible only in your spiritual body. Then you bath in Radhakunda, when you do it in your spiritual body. For us, bathing in Radhakunda means to read the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, by Srila Prabhupada, translated from Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we read every day in the morning. And we relish it every day in the morning. I don't know how it is for you, but if we hear in the morning just one or two paragraphs of this book, it's fascinating what amazing high topics and revelations of the spiritual world are given to us. You know? Krishna and his friends, Sudama and Sridhama, and how a Brahmana is meditating on cooking sweet rice for the Lord and testing it with his finger and burning his finger and waking up from his meditation and seeing his finger in reality burned. I mean, how much more confidential could you get? You know, how much more close could you get to Krishna in our condition? So how more close could this process of devotion and service be presented to us than in such a literature like Nectar of Devotion? It is incomparable, incomparable. Just by reading, the meditation on Krishna and Krishna's pastimes is already there. Something happens in your heart when reading this book. So that is what this means for us to bath at Radhakund. And what we hear here from achieving this service, what it means for us also practically is preaching. So His Grace Hadanamananda Prabhu came back, and what he did then is taking up this wonderful service of preaching and distributing books in huge quantities. So we can conclude from this that this is very dear to Srimati Radharani. Yes, you can come, you can visit this most holy place, and then please do the most wonderful service of giving Krishna consciousness to the fallen conditioned souls and save them from going to hell in this dark age of Kali Yuga. Not even save them from going to hell, but give them the chance, opportunity, and the seed of becoming elevated to pure devotee. Shri Shri Pranat Lakshmi Singh Bhagavan Ki Jai. Become elevated to pure devotional service to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Highly rarely attained. We hear from Narada Muni. I mean, Narada Muni even, it says, rarely can achieve that. Who is Narada Muni? Narada Muni is, from the perspective of a devotee, seen on the same level as Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And therefore also he is referred to as Bhagavan, authorized. He is also called Bhagavan sometimes. So he is on the same platform. Why? Sri Narada Muni appeared similarly as Krishna appeared, completely in a spiritual body. His body and his self is not different from each other. There is no difference between Narada Muni's body and himself. And with this body, he is able and allowed and permitted and empowered to travel all over the places in the material world, through all the universes. If he likes, he can even visit Mahavishnu lying on the Karana ocean, the gigantic form of Mahavishnu. But even more, he can visit all the spiritual planets. He can visit the Vaikuntha planets. He can visit Goloka Vrindavan. He can go everywhere. And what does he do? He's using the gift that he got from Krishna. What gift did Narada Muni get from Krishna? The holy name, all right. What else? He got a veena, a transcendental instrument. And he's playing, this is a gift from Krishna. And he's playing on this veena. And simply as soon as he starts to play the veena and glorify Krishna, it is stated, immediately Krishna appears in his heart. Just imagine that. We are looking for Krishna like anything. We are trying like anything to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We try so hard. We serve, We are praying to Krishna. We read in a very fascinating mood about the spiritual world and the reality of the spiritual realm. And the fact that it is possible for everybody to meet Krishna and speak with Krishna. And of course, most important for us, to see Krishna. And just Narada Muni starts playing his instrument, and this very same Krishna immediately appears in his heart. All the time, every time. Quite fantastic, isn't it? Very sweet. So in other words, Krishna gave himself completely to his pure devotee, to his extraordinary devotee, Narada Muni. Narada Muni has Krishna as his treasure. And so he can also give him to others. And that is what he is most importantly doing. Traveling all over the world and delivering the message of Krishna consciousness to others, preaching, making the most fallen souls to devotees of the Lord. That is the highest and the greatest wonder we can perceive. That even the most degraded and low-born personalities, those who cannot chant Krishna's name, there is a statement in the scriptures that although the name of Krishna, or because the name of Krishna is so pure and so powerful, there are human beings who cannot say the name Krishna. They cannot say. If you say Krishna, they cannot pronounce. They cannot say the name not because of their mother tongue, like the Chinese. They cannot say. They say Krishna or something. Not because of that, but because they are so impure in heart. They have such a sinful life that the holy name of the Lord, it does not appear on the tongue because they are so dirty. And Narada Muni is one of those devotees who are going to such degraded personalities and converting them into devotees. The most famous story is the story of Mrigari the hunter, of course. He was one of the hunters. He was not even killing the animals completely, but he killed them half, so that they suffered even more. And it was very horrible to see that for Narada Muni, so that he told him, why don't you kill them completely? Because he learned it from his father. It's completely normal for him. It's life, and it's also not even it's normal in life. It's fun. It's fun if seeing them suffering and crawling around half dead. It's fun. It's entertainment. So how much more degraded can one become? And Narada Muni showed his mercy upon him, and he preached to him. First of all, please stop to make them suffer in that way, but kill them completely. And already Mrigari experienced the saintly quality of this personality. He appreciated the association of Narada Muni. A devotee is dear to everybody. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, his devotees are dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. So Mrigari, he got the spark implanted. So he was inquisitive. And Narada Muni offered him, I will request you to do something. Will you be ready to follow my instruction? And Mrigari agreed. Yes, please tell me, what shall I do for you? Please come with me in my hut. I will give you the best skins from animals that I have. Tiger skin, lion skin, deer skin. What would you like to have? It was not exactly what Narada Muni appreciated. So therefore he said, no, it's okay. Please throw away your bow and arrows and your weapons with which you kill the animals. And the hunter was shocked. How can I do that? How will I survive? That's the way how I can earn my livelihood. And Narada Muni just said, no problem, no problem. Follow my instructions. Everything you need will come, and everything you have will be preserved. Which verse in the Bhagavad Gita Krishna states that? The learned scholars. Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, exactly. Which verse is it? No one? Ananyas chintayantamam yechana payopasate tesham nidyapi yuktanam yoga ksheva bahamyaham. Yoga ksheva bahamyaham. Yoga in that regard, in that verse, means gain, what you win. And kshema means that what you have will be preserved, will be taken care of. So yoga kshema bahami aham. Krishna says aham, I give you what you need, and what you have, I take care of it. It will be preserved. Don't bother about it. So the very same words, yoga kshema, they appear also in another chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Pavarjuna, Nirdvantvo Nitya Sattvasto, Nir Yoga Kshema Atmavan. Nir Yoga Kshema Atmavan. Krishna says the Vedic scriptures mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. And immediately says, be free of the three modes of material nature. Be free from duality. And be free of fear for gain and possessions. And be situated in the self. So in other words, the fear that Mrigari the hunter had, where will I get my livelihood? Where will I get what I need? Who will take care of what I have? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nir Yoga Kshema Atmavan. Be free of that fear. Throw it out of the window. Don't be situated on the platform of the modes of material nature. On the material platform, everybody is concerned about these things, yoga and kshema. Where I will get what I need, and who will take care of what I have. How will it be safe? So there he says, be free of that. And in the 9th chapter, then he gives the solution. I will give you what yoga kshema you need, and what you have, I will protect. If you, what does he say? If one constantly meditates on my transcendental form. When one constantly meditates on my transcendental form and engages in my worship, I will give to him what he needs, and I will preserve what he has. So Narada Muni wanted to give this understanding even to Mrigari the hunter by requesting him to start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in front of a tulasi plant and not bother about these things, yoga and kshema, because they will come by itself. And see what's happening? The word spread. There is a devotee, a Vaishnava, chanting Krishna's holy name. We have to serve. So they brought food to him. They brought so much food to him that he said, next time when Narada came with his Muni friend, Narada Muni has a Muni friend. Also Muni have friends. And he came, and I have a disciple there somewhere in the forest. Narada said, come with me, I want to see how he is doing. So next time when they came, Mercari said, there is so much food everywhere. I cannot eat all that. Please take care. Give it to someone. I don't know what to do. So the word became true. Simply by becoming a devotee, all this fear of the duality of the material world can be given up. And there is a lot more fear in this material world than just about this. Everybody in this world is in fear. It is the greatest problem that we have in our life. Fear, constantly fear. And therefore, out of the 4 actually animalistic activities that so-called human beings are performing, namely eating, sleeping, having sex, and defending, which one you think is the most strongest? Eating, sleeping, having sex, or defending? Which is the heaviest problem? Which is strongest of all of them? Take a guess. What do you think? Okay, you say it's mating. Very good, very good. Who else? Everyone agrees? Super later, because he is participating in Bhaktivedanta Baba course, is the most intelligent Bhakta, so we have to give a little bit time for the others also. Who else has a guess? What do you think? What is the greatest problem? Okay. All right. Okay. The greatest enjoyment in the material world is sexual enjoyment. The thing which bounds us the most to the material world, the heaviest knot which fixes us into the material world. Yeah. True. But still, out of yeah. Okay. Anyway, someone else wants to say something to that? No? So you think it's mating? You also think it's mating, actually? Okay, 2 persons already said it's mating. Who else? Okay, Subal, you have a guess? Okay, which means sex life, sleeping, eating, defending. Defending is the strongest, because everyone is in fear, and therefore constant defending, protecting. If you just go by a house where a dog is living, nothing happens. Nothing. You just walk by, and you can be sure that for at least 10 minutes there will be constantly barking. Nothing is happening, Whoa, 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 as if something terrible happened, It's like defending, enemy, And this same principle is going on all over the world. Defending. For what? What happened? Yeah, because constant fear. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, this fear, very easy, give it up. No need. No need to be in such a degraded stage of life and consciousness. And even work hard for that. I mean, that's even more far out. And even working in such a way that you're committing horrible sins with it. Like Mrgara the hunter committed such extreme sins in killing these animals for his livelihood. I mean, that is material existence. It is really scary. So this material world is a scary place, if you look how life is going on. So therefore Krishna gives us this hint that it's not necessary. Please kindly give this up. Please turn towards me. And then this fear will disappear. Give up this fear. Do not be afraid. Ma shuchaha. And whatever you need, have faith, have trust. Krishna takes care. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He will take care of you. He's the super soul. He's guiding everyone where to go, what to do. what to say, how to say. He can empower everyone in a mystical way. Just be ready to be an instrument for Krishna, and especially an instrument for Krishna in giving this knowledge to others and spreading this knowledge. And it is not very extremely ordinary high or achieved after a long time of practice of meditation, yoga, or whatever. What is given to us, the knowledge that is given to us, under the line, all in all, concluded, it is that please start to chant the holy name, chant Hare Krishna, and everything will come. Everything will come. Scientifically, it can be understood. No? And that science is the Bhagavad Gita, that science is the Srimad Bhagavatam. If you are eager and inquisitive and want to hear the nectar of the description of Krishna consciousness and the science of Krishna consciousness, there is so much nectar. We experience even when we are participating in the Bhakti Vibhava course, even if the teacher is speaking longer than the schedule actually is, no one in the whole group says, excuse me, please, it's actually already 10 minutes past. We already have a break. No one says anything. Everyone is sitting inside and is just hearing and listening. And we want to hear more and want to hear more. We could continue eternally to hear the nectar of Krishna consciousness. That's the complete opposite. I think no one would do that in school. It's 10 o'clock. School class is over and the teacher is sitting still 10 minutes after. At least the half of the class would start to protest. Excuse me, that was not the deal. We already are free. So, but in spiritual life, it's different. We would like to continue. We would like to spend more time in hearing about Krishna and chanting about Krishna. We wish the time would expand eternally. That one night is like the night of Brahma. That would be so wonderful. And Krishna will fulfill that desire. He can do everything. And he did also, of course, when he's dancing the Rasa dance with the gopis. He fulfilled the desire. This one night became like the night of Brahma. That long. And even that was not enough. That was not enough. So this is a great ocean of nectar. This Krishna consciousness. And the alternative is quite scary to observe from the point or the viewpoint of a devotee. It is a fearful existence. It is an existence without trust. It is an existence without love. It is the material existence. That is what it is. So Krishna mercifully tells us, please do not rot there. Please become happy in my devotional service. And especially, please, if you have a small realization of it and a little faith in it, and you got already some experience of it, immediately share it. Immediately give it to others. Preaching means, I learned something, I must tell. I have to tell someone. I cannot just keep it for myself. I must tell it to the whole world. Everyone has to say, has to know it. So that is the message of Bhagavatam, of the scriptures, from our disciplic succession, of these most amazing, astonishing books. And especially this book, if we are reading now this section that we are reading now, just right now, we really have to come to the conclusion that this is far out. I mean, it's not that we are not given everything. Sometimes devotees, they conclude, like in devotional service, books of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON, it's just like the beginning. It's like the basic. 4 regulative principles. Don't live like an animal on 2 legs. Chant Hare Krishna. Offer your food to Krishna. But if you want to become more elevated and want to hear about Radharani and the Gopis and the Radha Kunda, where you really belong, then you have to go somewhere else, where it is more elevated. But here we have the proof that is not at all the fact. How much higher can one go than Radha Kunda? We cannot go higher than that. And where is it given? It's given in this book, directly, spoken most confidential part, not even achieved by Narada Muni. What are we doing with such books? Keeping in a treasury at home, keeping in a safe, only reading once a year very carefully so that no one can hear it? No, we are distributing them on a book in the street in masses. Such a small book. Huh? Once, because yesterday there was Bhima Ekadashi, Nirjala Ekadashi, fasting, no water drinking even, then you have observed all the Ekadashis of all the years. Very famous, unique day of the year. And because it's such a famous and unique day of the year, I remember exactly a few years ago when I was allowed by Sri Krishna to be in Iceland at that time. So I was in Iceland with this book, distributing on the street. And we were at the topmost northern city. It's called Akureyri. Yeah, it's an hour-long drive from the south to the north. And the nature there is astonishing. I only saw something like that there in movies like Lord of the Rings. And they told me even that this movie, Lord of the Rings, they filmed it there. Because it's such a nature, it's completely far out. The mountains, the clouds, it looks like someone has his hand behind it, created it on a computer or something. It's really far out. So after going an hour-long trip through such a nature, you arrive in Akureyri, and at that time we had a competition on start. Competition between us in Iceland and here in Germany, the Sankirtan devotees. So I was there with this book, and I remember one day, it was Bhima Ekadashi, some like 8 years ago or something, I was allowed to distribute around 120 or 130 books on a Bhima Ekadashi day. And the competition went on here. There was Advaita Simha here in Germany on the street distributing books, and we made a deal. If he manages to distribute more the coming days, then he will get a wonderful, nice present from Iceland. So in this way, we had a wonderful competition, and that reminds me always. And also this book was with me there somewhere in this completely weird place of Iceland. And one day, I met such a young boy, like Manuel, such a young boy, and I showed him the book, and I told him it's from India, and then he became very interested and said, oh, really, India? I always wanted to go to India, but before I want to go to India, I want to get some information about the holy places there in India. Does there something exist, like a book where holy places in India are described, so that I can prepare for my journey to India? And I showed him the Nektar of instruction, Vrindavan, Radhakund, Govardhan. Yes, I have one. And he took this book, and now I know somewhere in the weird place of Iceland, there is a young boy sitting with this most astonishing, highly elevated book and reading about Srimati Radharani, her Kund, devotional service, and the process of Krishna consciousness, which you can immediately start, even there somewhere in Iceland, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, by offering your food to Krishna and by learning how to associate with devotees. All this is explained here in this book. It is sufficient for this soul to become a Krishna-conscious person, even at the most remote place in the world. So that is a wonderful remembrance. I wanted to use this opportunity today to share with you, because yesterday was this Bhima Ekadashi, and I thank you very much for giving your time of listening. If there is any comment or question, 3 minutes before we have to go, Radhati, you are mostly welcome. Please, if any question is there, feel free. Everyone agrees? No doubts? Prabhupada's books give everything? No need to go somewhere else? The highest goal can be achieved here at this place? ISKCON is perfect movement? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Prahlad Lakshmana Singhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Idai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.